Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Michael's Corner. I am sitting by with the MAW Wilmer City Champion, Randy the Rainmaker Raynes. How are you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good, Michael. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. If my memory serves correctly, it's been a long time since you've been on Michael's Corner. And I think everybody wants to know, what have you been up to since our last interview?
Well, let's see. That was about 2014, right?
Absolutely.
In Wisconsin, right?
I believe it was. It was Midwest All-Star Wrestling. Not Midwest. Minnesota Extreme Wrestling.
Yep. And I was wearing a yellow and white shirt, right?
Correct.
And it was at a casino?
No. Nah. Yeah, y'all could watch the interview.
Okay, anyway, yeah. So, 14. So that was kind of at the peak of my wrestling career so far. I wrestled a lot for the AWF, some other promotions like MEW, and let's see, 2017, March of 2017, I wrestled at my old high school, ACGC in Grove City, and I won the first ever Midwest Heritage Championship for the AWF. And then, I don't know, 6 months after that, I kind of became a little burnt out from the wrestling business. I started wrestling less and less. 18, I think I had one match. And then I don't think I wrestled again until 22. And that was here at Willmarmania for MAW. Oh, no, I wrestled in 19. It was Willmarmania again for MAW. And
the pandemic hit.
Yeah, the pandemic hit, and so that didn't really, there wasn't a lot of wrestling then. And, and I've been just doing it once a year until last year. At this time, I did this show, and then I've done 3 other wrestling shows for the AWF, and now we're back here. So really technically in the last year, I've done 4 matches, and so I don't really know where my career goes from here. But, I mean, it's match number 223. I've been doing it for 14 years. You know, I maybe should get out there and do one more really good run. But, in 10 days, I'm going to be 40 years old, so I don't know. Wow. I don't know where we go.
Yeah, I am 40 years old.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
You don't look a day over 19.
No, I don't. So, I think everybody wants to know, how did we meet? Because when we first met, it was probably at Minnesota Extreme Wrestling.
Probably when we first actually met, but we crossed paths when I was going to wrestling school, and you worked at the Byerly's there in Golden Valley, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would stop there before and or after wrestling school, at Lenny Lane's School of Professional Wrestling in Golden Valley. I'd maybe get a protein shake, maybe you're good. Maybe a little, organic energy shot or whatever you guys had there. It was kind of a ritzy place, so there was a lot of cool things I could buy there. And I didn't know you were a wrestling fan at the time, but then, as it would be, we crossed paths again at MEW. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And I remember you had a match with Randy D. That was at the Dojo Championship Wrestling.
That was, yes, in my hometown of Alwater, Minnesota. That was for Wrestler of the Year.
Yeah.
And I won that. So, and that was in the form of a belt, much like this one. So, it's a good feeling to have some time with gold over my shoulder or around my waist in my wrestling career. Not everybody that gets into wrestling does it for this long or wins a championship. So it's pretty cool.
And you know something too, Rainmaker, you and I, we crossed paths when we was at, I don't want to say this, but we were at a wrestling show, and you with Star of Love and Brookstone and Eric Lockhart and all, and you just became such a good friend, and you were great to me and whatnot. And we had our little moments, but overall, you became such a good friend to me, and we kept in touch on. We kept in touch with each other on social media, and then we lost contact until I created an Instagram page, and we reconnected.
Yeah.
And so ever since then, we became really, really close again. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that you taking this time to do this interview with me, because it's not every day I get to interview you and
Yeah.
whatnot. So I just want to appreciate you taking this time to do this with me, because it's so real that we known each other for that long.
Yeah, yeah, that's rare in this world, to know somebody for that long and have a positive relationship. Yeah, and I appreciate you taking the time to interview me and show off this brand new belt. They replaced the old red one. Many of you viewers probably aren't familiar with how that looked, but it was a respectable belt, but it served its purpose. Now they replaced it with this world-class, wonderful, heavy belt. And I just noticed in your screen there, that's a big W. I didn't notice that. They gave this to me hours ago, and I didn't notice the big W there, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, So going back to what you were saying, you want to have one last run. So, if you were to wrestle full time again, who do you want to face next? If it were, because we got guys like The System, we got Macaulay Rose, we got Ryan Cruz and all the other guys and whatnot. So who do you want to face if you gave the opportunity to wrestle full time again?
Oh boy, that's a tough question. I think me and The System, Ryan Cruz and I would have a good match too. But the Ryan Cruz and The System are two names that come to mind. I think The System, I think we'd have a great match. I think we'd both really lay it in and give the audience a great battle to watch. And I think in some ways we're evenly matched. He's a little taller. I might have a little more beef on me. At least I used to. I don't know about it. I'm getting my muscle back, but I'm not as big as I used to be. But, and then Ryan Cruz. He's always been a consummate performer and a great wrestler that I think would give me a huge challenge. He's a better wrestler than me. For sure. So, and you don't really sometimes to get better, you got to face someone that's better than you. And Ryan Cruz is better. So those are the two names that come to mind.
Yeah. So I'm getting a little emotional because, it's like doing this interview with you is just means the world,
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't believe this is our second time, in so many years. So I just want to let it sink in for the fans, because a lot of fans has been watching my content, and they really want to know the wrestlers, the story behind the wrestlers and whatnot, getting to know the wrestler,
Yeah.
And I feel like I done a great job with doing Michael's Corner, because they, I created this a long time ago, May of 2013. That's when I started really interviewing wrestlers.
Yeah.
And then the rest was just history,
Right. Yeah.
And now you see me with this
All your equipment.
all my equipment. Yeah. And you know something? It was not that expensive. It was least expensive,
Yeah, It looks great. It obviously works great. I mean, I'm glad you got a good deal on that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Amazon.
Hey, Amazon has a lot of good stuff.
Yep. So my next question to you is, I know this has been a while, but let's just catch up so that the new audience know. What else have you been up to since you know?
Oh well, I've been exercising. Not necessarily as much or as heavy as I used to, but I've also been studying. The intricate workings of professional wrestling. It's kind of hard to explain, but I've maybe been playing chess while everybody else has been playing checkers. Maybe that doesn't make any sense now, but maybe someday it will. Yeah. There's a lot to professional wrestling beyond just the athleticism, so that's been taking up a lot of my time.
Yeah. Yep. Also, too, what I've been doing when I'm not at wrestling shows is I still work for Lions and Barley's Golden Valley.
Okay.
I've been doing that for like almost 19 years, but it'll be 20 in September.
Okay.
And then not only that, I work for the union.
Okay.
So it's the United Food and Commercials Workers Local 663, and that's located in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. So I've been their steward for about a year and a half, almost going on 2 years in October. So that's what I've been doing,
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so I just think
not many people can say they've been at a job for 19 years.
Yeah, it's like what they say, it's like having one good job should be enough.
Yeah.
And I just want to put it out there, you guys. Yep. So, Rainmaker, I don't want to waste any more of your time, but I just want to let it sink in, you know.
Well, it's not a waste of time, but it's been great having you here at the show and interviewing me. It's been fun.
So I'm gonna sound like Chris Van Leek, and I always end this interview with what are the 3 things that you are grateful for?
That I'm grateful for. My family, my friends, and my dog is included in my family and friends, and food. And, 3 things, yeah, that would be it. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, that does it for this episode of Michael's Corner. And remember, follow me on social media. Facebook is Michael's Corner. Twitter X is @MichaelPam. YouTube is Michael's Wrestling Channel. And you can follow the Rainmaker on Instagram as well.
That's right. You can search for Aaron Hoffman. You should find me.
Yep. All right. Oh my God.
Peace.
Peace.